The very first episode of the Wealth Nation podcast for 2023. Can you believe? I think we're doing this for about 5 years already. Where has the time gone? Time is really flying. And today I want to talk to you about how you can be sticking to your New Year's resolutions, your financial New Year's resolutions for 2023. And I know it's this part of the year, all of these resolutions come about, your dieting, your fitness. And hopefully we're in the third week. Is it the third week of January already? And I hope you're sticking with it. You are gung-ho on trying to achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve for yourself in this coming year. But our focus on the Wealth Nation podcast, as you know, it's about finances. And today, hopefully, well, I know for myself, I'm hoping for better financial prospects in 2023. It was brutal last year. South African stock markets didn't do too badly, but with Eskom and things like that, it's been a hard year for us as South Africans and our bank accounts. All right, overseas markets was horrible. Ukraine, Russia, all of that happening, and our investments with offshore exposure tend to be a little bit down, and also with that impact on Eskom on our economy as well. So things are dipping a little bit. Brutal for cryptocurrencies. Those tanked as well. Sky high inflation in 2022 saw the Reserve Bank actually raising interest rates throughout the year. So borrowing money also became a little bit too expensive. All in all, the past is the past. There's nothing we can do to change what has happened. However, we can take proactive steps for 2023 to invest more, to spend less in order to reach and achieve our wealth building goals. So with that in mind, I know you're probably wondering, what do you do and how do you stick to your financial goals in 2023? Whether you hope to pay down debt, or you want to learn how to invest, or you want to spend less on things you don't really care about. Here's a couple of tips for you. One of the things that makes reaching your financial goals become easier is when each step of your strategy is specific and it's measurable. For example, let's say you want to save more for retirement this year. Now that isn't very specific. Instead, you should plan to increase your RA contributions, for example, by a certain amount per pay period. For example, if you're contributing 5,000 Rand a month now to your retirement annuities, commit to an additional 500 Rand a month. Then follow through with that goal by filling out the various forms, contacting your advisor, and try to facilitate that increase. Setting smaller specific steps towards your goal allows you to measure and see what you're accomplishing far more frequently. If you do have that increase that you want for yourself or your retirement, you can monitor it every 3 months once you take those initial steps, and you'll slowly start beginning to build some momentum to ultimately achieve your goal. Also, try breaking down your bigger savings goals. Like if you set yourself a goal to save 150,000 Rand this year, okay, so you've got this financial year or this period of 2023. Break that a goal down into more measurable, more realistic targets. So by half a year, you want to reach 75,000. Okay, if we half that 75,000, what are we getting? About 38,000. And if we divide that by another 3, that will give us just over 10,000 Rand a month that we need to be saving. All right, so you know that if you're a little short this month, next month you got to cover a little bit more to try and stick to as close to your goal as you can. You don't want to come December and say, hey, I'm 50 grand short, and then you're in trouble. Right, so by breaking it down, you're giving yourself more bite-sized chunks, something more realistic that you can set your behavior towards. By being specific like that, it's it lets you be more goal orientated rather than saying, okay, I want to save more or I want to put more towards retirement. You're giving yourself 150,000, you're giving yourself 10,000 Rand a month that you are working towards. Breaking down your goals this way will help you make your goals more achievable. It helps you keep yourself motivated if you're monitoring this every week, every month. No, not only that, but people tend to lose motivation when the goal is too big. So you got to break it down. This strategy will give you a sense of accomplishment along the way and reward you for good behavior, which helps keep you on track. Next thing that you should do is try and automate those finances. Now, if you're working with your advisor, What we tend to do is try to make it as easy for you as you can in terms of your retirement, your saving, your investing, and we just automate those debits. Now, if you're doing all of your finances on your own, you got to try and set that up with your bank or your asset managers, or reach out to your financial advisor, and try and automate whatever payments you need to automate. Whether you're trying to pay off debt, increase retirement savings, build that emergency fund, consider how automatic transfers or payments might help you stay on track. For example, let's say you set up an automatic transfer as soon as your salary hits your account into a 32-day account. I mean, there's less temptation for you to spend. Okay, for you to spend that money into the 32-day account, you got to give 32 days notice. And if you had to wait so long, 32 days to go and buy something, maybe it's not even really worth it. It's just that luxury spend that you want to do. So this behavior, that automation allows for those funds to be put away as soon as it comes in, and you become more disciplined that way as well. Automation can help you reach your goals before the money reaches your hands by eliminating the possibility that you spend those rands on anything else. Automation can also help you stick to your budget if you have one, and hopefully you're using one this year. If you haven't, let that be one of your goals, because if you follow the concept of paying yourself first, that automation is that first step in paying yourself first. One thing that you should be focusing on as a financially savvy person is reducing your debt. Okay, you don't want to be carrying debt. We're in a period of high interest rates. It's going to get higher. And if you follow the news, and if you're an economically active South African, you know that there's almost 19% increase in energy that Eskom is giving us. And basically, we're paying more, we're getting less with all of this load shedding. But that's going to drive up inflation. Production of services, of goods that we like, all these companies are going to be paying 19% more. And very rarely such a huge increase can be absorbed by a business. I know as a business owner, I can't absorb a whole 19% by myself. Okay, I'm going to have to increase my rates accordingly. I got to spend more on getting my software. Their prices are going up more than what I need or that I'd like to pay. And obviously, I'm going to have to pass these costs on to my consumer because I can't take that big blow all by myself. I'd rather be out of business and have peace of mind knowing that I'm not running my business to the ground. Eskom is not running my business to the ground. While hoping to save and invest more for 2023, it's a very noble thing to do, but carrying high interest debt could leave you in a position where you're actively working against yourself month after month. Overspending is one of the biggest pitfalls that you need to watch for when you're trying to stick to your New Year goals. We find that more and more South Africans are carrying higher credit card debt. They're taking on loans to try and even make it through the month. And unfortunately, that's an awful situation to be in. And honestly, it's not ourselves to blame, right? It's just the way the situation, the economics, the politics of our country are. The cost of living is horrendous. But it is a part of life. And it's because that's a normal part of life. Inflation is a normal part of life. It's higher than we like. We need to plan for it. High inflation is likely to lead to more South Africans relying more on credit to keep up with spending and everyday bills. However, if you can pay your credit card off at the end of each month, you shouldn't be using credit. If you want to get out of debt, you can use any number of strategies to do so, such as the debt snowball, the debt avalanche method. Check out our YouTube channel for more information on these two strategies. You also need to buffer up your emergency savings. These are one of the biggest challenges that prevent people from reaching their financial goals because life happens. And while you're there contributing to your RA and you're investing and you're saving, there's this emergency comes up and now you got to go borrow or possibly withdraw from your investments at a lower rate than you put it in to try and fill in this gap that this emergency has created. It's much more difficult to save money and plan for the future when your world is suddenly turned upside down and emergencies are guaranteed to happen. It doesn't matter, whether you're in the middle class, whether you're super rich, money problems, life will happen. And that emergency fund is that buffer to, ease that burden when it arises. It's a good way to have money available to see you through that financial setback, like joblessness, like high excess on your vehicle insurance or home insurance. Life happens, guys, and we got to be prepared for it. And lastly, don't let small mistakes ruin your plans. And sometimes we can fall off the wagon. Now, if you are on this whole diet weight loss journey, like so many of us are this part of the year, maybe you buy that donut. In my case, I have a weakness for bunny chows. Maybe you dive headfirst into a bunny chow, and this sets your nutrition and your fitness goals a little bit back. But don't let that small mistake ruin your plan. Tomorrow is a new day. Get back onto your horse and start all over again. Don't let that setback really set you back. You need to declare what's important to you first, and paying attention to that behavior, you start to notice progress towards seeing success. I mean, 5 days out of 7, if you can hit your target, that is great. Allow yourself a little leeway once in a while. Try not to obsess over this whole money thing. It's important to just have those good behaviors in place. You can't go from 0 to 10 all of a sudden. You got to go from 0 to 1 to 2, and you'll get there. The main thing is being consistent and being disciplined with your money behavior. All right, so that's it for me on this edition of the Wealth Nation podcast. I'll catch you next week.